12-inch canvas. Now you can get these at Michael's. They come in a 3-pack, okay? It's a multi-pack. It comes 3 to a pack. And so you get 3 of these, and I'm pretty sure, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that these are still on sale, buy one, get one. Pretty sure they're buy one, get one. Maybe. They were, I don't even know what day it is anymore, so I'm pretty sure they're buy one, get one. So we're gonna create a really quick, cute little mermaid's tail, but before we do, I wanna add a little bit of color to this, and I'm gonna do that just using just an old sponge brush and a little bit of white paint. So I'm gonna just dip into some white and cover my canvas with white. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But I don't want it to be just white. I want it to have a little underwater feel, like, ooh. I'm a little crazy today. So I'm going to, this is some paint that I've been using all day. It's a little dried up, but I'm gonna dip in to this blue, which is sky blue. It is Folk Art Sky Blue. I'm gonna get into that a little bit on the same brush, and I'm just gonna make some color, okay? I'm just going to add a little, I was a little excessive, and that's okay. We can come back in with some white, but I just wanna add a little bit of blue to create a little bit of an underwater feel. We don't want it to be stark white. I need to add a little less blue. I got a little antsy, got a little froggy. Ugh. So there's our background, just like that. Just as simple as that. Just a quick little underwater background for our, where's my water? For our mermaid to sit on. So she is about to happen. But give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna hit this really quick with my blow dryer just to get it dry so we don't have to just wait for the next step. So let me cover your ears. Thank you for the sprinkles, Richard. Cover your ears. I'm gonna hit this 10 seconds with the blow dryer. Hello, everybody. And just like that, we are dry. How's that for fast? That is super cool. Okay, so what I like to do at this point is draw out my tail, because we're gonna do just a mermaid tail. We're gonna start with her like midsection. And then we're gonna, you know, she's got those nice mermaid tail hips. Then we're gonna bring it in, and then we're going, going to add that little fishtail on the end. And I like to sketch that out just with clear glue. This is Aleene's clear tacky glue. So we're gonna use that to kind of sketch out our mermaid. And then that'll also, once we start adding our glass, because this is gonna be kind of like a glass silhouette. This is all the painting that's going to happen. We're going to make a tail out of just glass. So I'm going to like add the glue, and this is going to like make a dam for our glass, so it kind of holds everything in place. Thank you, Christy. Very sweet. So I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch out at the top and the bottom. Okay, so then we got to give her some hips, right? We got to give this girl some hips. So I'm literally just drawing with my glue. So we're going to come in, and then we're going to come back out and form her tail. There's her little tail. Then we'll come back in, and then we got to get the hips again. So I'll show you this close up. So I'm just going to scribble in a few more little bits of glue. And I'm going to see if you can see this close up so you can see how I have just drawn on with my glue. Now you could alternatively use like a watercolor pencil to do this, but I like to use the glue because it also helps me like keep everything contained. All right, so I have brought a few things to the dance. I have some Caribbean and the very last tiny bit of Azuria. This glass is like on the endangered species list right now. It's hard to find. It's almost impossible to find. But I'm gonna use the Caribbean to start out, and then I'm gonna add the reflective Azuria on top. Okay. So what else I have is, yeah, just comment link if you're interested in the sunflower challenge. That's probably going to be the easiest way to get there. Just comment link and you're going to check your Facebook Messenger and it's going to have a link in there for you to read all the things. So I brought some bubbles because what mermaid is complete without a few bubbles, right? So I'm going to set those there. And I also brought a few glass chips because I like to add that little bit of sexiness that these glass chips bring into those mermaids. They're a little iridescent and shiny, so I like to add that little bit of goodness to my mermaid. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up and just pour some of this blue into my hands, and I'm just gonna drop it on my canvas. And because I have that glue line, I know, and I'm gonna go thin because I'm gonna add the other color on top. Because I have that glue line, I know exactly where all this goes. It just lines up perfectly. Ashley, you can go to artshattered.com. Catherine just posted the link, and I sell glass on my website. I buy it in bulk for my membership, for the ladies and gentlemen in my membership, and so we sell it on the Art Shattered page. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this color, and then we're going to come in and give it a little bit of depth. Oh, that's a perfect little piece for the point of his little fin. Her little fin, sorry. Well, mermaid, whatever. So I'm just going to add a little bit here, and then we're going to use this sexy color for the rest. Just needed a base. Just a little base color. All right, so now I'm gonna bag this back up. And this color is the piece de resistance right here. This, if you can see, is reflective, which means it's the same color blue on one side, but on the opposite side, it has like a mirrored finish. So this is super awesome. Okay, so we're gonna add this to the top. This canvas, sweetheart, is a 4x12. You can find these at Michael's in the canvas section. They come in a multi-pack. It's a pack of 3 4x12s at Michael's. It's the only place I've ever found a 4x12. So I'm gonna add in this reflective glass and give this mermaid some oomph. We're gonna bulk her up and fill her in. The reflective is so gorgeous. I love it so much. Let's get some more. So yeah, if you're interested in the sunflower challenge, Richard, you know we couldn't do this without you. You are our token male, and we love you. You keep us rolling, that's for sure. So I'm just adding in some of this reflective to, you can see the difference. It darkens it, and it has that mirrored quality, so it's really pretty. I'm gonna go skinny on her tail because that's where we're gonna add some of these little chips in. So I don't want that to be too terribly bulky. So let's go down here, or like the middle. We're gonna go down here and add more. I need another little sexy piece for that point. Oh, look, ask and you shall receive. Look at that. See, it's pointed. So we're gonna use that right on the tip for that pointed part of her fin. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Keep on going. Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep adding. I have to kind of concentrate. So if you have questions, I'm sure all of my folks, all my girls from the group, I say girls, people sometimes get offended. I'm from the South, so we're all girls and boys to me. So if that is offensive to you, I apologize. I think we're all girls and we're all boys, but all my girls are here from the Shattered Circle and they are helping to answer any questions because sometimes it's super hard to answer questions while you're painting or while you're creating something. So all those wonderful people in my group who are like all my BFFs are here answering your questions as we go. Right? Did I miss something? Did Richard say something ugly? He is so sassy, isn't he? He is such a sass. Such a sass. So I'm just going to keep adding this glass within my little glue line until we get this girl filled out. Richard's a sassafras. Oh, Christy, have a good evening, love. Be safe and have a good evening, Miss Night Shifter. All right, so I'm trying to make sure her tail is formed properly. So I'm micromanaging that just a little bit. Let's get some of this in here because I want it to be shaped like a tail, obviously. We can't have it shaped weird. So I'm gonna micromanage this just a little. I'm gonna scoot this over. I feel like my head's getting in the way. So if you see my hat, I apologize. It's like I have to get my nose on top of it sometimes because I'm half blind. I'm blind in one eye and I can't see out the other one. So let's add a little more here. Look at that piece. That would have been a great piece for the end as well. I like finding those nuggets for the end, but I think we're gonna be good. I think we're golden. I need one more nice sized piece to just reflect here. And I think that's good. I got a little piece of something right here I need to get off. It's stuck in the glue. So we have formed our cute little mermaid tail, and that took maybe, you know, a 1/4 pound of Caribbean and a 1/4 pound of the reflective. So it was just a little bit of glass. Let me see if I can get that in here. So what I want to do now is use some of these cute little pieces. Let me put them on something white so you can see how pretty they are. Okay, so these are what we call glass chips, and they're iridescent little glass nuggets that I purchased from a glass blower. So those are great little accent pieces for our mermaid tail. And I like to put those right here in that area. So I'm gonna take this biggest piece. I'm gonna move this chunk because I don't want it to be too terribly fat. I'll put it down there. I'm gonna take this nice chunk and put it right here. Oh yeah, look how pretty that turns out. I'm trying to get that little sucker out the way. So we'll put that right there, and we'll put this piece. Look at that piece. That's spectacular. Yeah, we're gonna put that one here, and then maybe this one, like right here. And then this one is kind of angled, so we'll just stick it right in like that. And maybe one more just right here. So that just gives it a little extra something. I'm gonna throw this one here as well. So I'm gonna very carefully show you this close up. Can you see how that, I'm gonna wiggle, how that iridescent, see I wiggled a little too much. That little bit of iridescence in those glass bits really make a huge difference. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this aside over here. I kind of wiggled this out of place. I'm gonna put it back. And I'm gonna get just a few little bubbles and add them like around the top of the canvas because she's underwater breathing, so you gotta have air bubbles, right? So we're gonna just put a few of those there, one or six. Okay, so now we are ready to meld this all together. So I'm gonna move this up out of my way just a little bit, and we're gonna mix up some resin. So I have a cup, and I have my little mixing wand and my gloves. And let me put my gloves on, and then I'll tell you step by step what I'm doing. So yes, Natalie, you need to join us over on the Sunflower page and get your little taste of the glass art that we're doing over there and see if you really, really love it, because we are gonna have some fun in that Sunflower challenge. Okay, so I have taken the liberty of already pouring my 2 parts. So resin, it's a 2-part epoxy. Okay, I use art resin. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see my phone, but I use art resin. It's a 50-50 mix, so we mix 50% resin and 50% hardener. Okay, so what I've done is already measured out, I see some dust. I've already measured out 3/4 of an ounce of resin and 3/4 of an ounce of hardener, so we didn't have to do that while we were live. So I am going to just dump it in another container. We'll scrape it all out with my little fancy tool. Get all that good stuff out of there. And let me scrape one more time. I want to make sure I get all the bits and goodies. All right, I'm going to toss that in my trash. And then I'm going to pour in the hardener. Doesn't matter which you do first. You just need to make sure you have correctly measured. You don't want to mess that up, because that is the key. Measuring properly and mixing properly is the key to the reaction of the hardening the resin. So let's get all that out, every little morsel, and boom, we're ready to mix. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is just stir the resin. It has to be mixed for 3 minutes. So I'm gonna just stir the resin while I answer any questions that pop up on this page. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna mix, and then, yeah, that purple scraper is awesome. It's actually a facial applicator, a makeup or facial applicator. It's made of silicone. So once I'm done, all I have to do is wipe all the resin off and then use it again next time. This is like the 4th time I've used it today. Yes, Shannon, it's a silicone makeup applicator. My girl's got me covered. I don't even have to answer no questions. So again, I'm going to remind you, and I'm going to show you the sunflower again once we get this done. But I want to remind you that, thank you, Judy. I appreciate you. I was just going to fly by the seat of my pants, but that's even better. I've been live in so many places today that it's like I'm off the chain over here. Yeah, and Natalia, I've done my countertops too. I've done the countertops in my house, my son's house, my bathroom countertops. I've actually done probably 400 countertops over my career. I actually did that for a living for a very long time. So I get you, honey. So comment link, LINK, if you'd like more information about our sunflower challenge. It's a 12 by 12 textured sunflower, and you have the option of adding the glass or not. You can stop at the point where we do glass and resin and just leave it that way, or you can follow along and add resin, and it doesn't even have to, I don't know where Rena is. Doesn't even have to be glass. It could be coffee beans, it could be glass beads, it could be plastic beads, it could be anything. But comment link if you'd like more information, and then check out your Facebook Messenger, because that's where the link is going to get posted. So just check that out, click on that link, and it will take you to the information page about our Sunflower Challenge. And you can decide if you would like to join us or not. We'd love, love, love to have you. We're going to be starting on September 8th at 7 p.m. Over on our private sunflower page. But if you can't join us, it's fine. You do not have to be there. All the videos will be stored in that Facebook page. Once you register and pay your $10, you can come back and watch that anytime you want. You can make a sunflower with us, or you can make a sunflower next month or next year. But as long as Mr. Zuckerberg lets me have a page on the Facebook, you're gonna have access to that page. So it's forever, as long as I live, I guess. Yeah, 7 Central. It's a forever access, and by forever I mean like if I die next year, you know, that page is probably going to get taken down. I'm just saying. God help me, I don't want to die next year. Just starting to have fun. So stirring for 3 minutes, and then we're going to add the resin to our cute little mermaid tail. She's adorable, isn't she? Time's up. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to put these 2 blocks under my mermaid tail so that just in case we have some drippage, it won't glue my mermaid to the canvas table that I have. So I'm making sure that my blocks are kind of tucked up under. If you don't have blocks, you can use those long thumbtacks. Just put one in each corner and make sure your canvas is elevated off your table. So, all right, so let's get to resining. So I am just going to start on the right side, and I'm just going to start drizzling that resin over my glass. And the reason we do it this way, I want to make sure that doesn't run down the side. The reason we do it this way, instead of just pouring it, is because pouring it will not ensure that every piece of glass is covered. Doing it this way ensures that you're hitting the top pieces of glass, and then the resin is flowing down the in between all those stacked up pieces and gluing all of that stuff to our canvas. So that's why we do it this way, just to make sure everything is stuck down, because there's nothing more sad and, you know, make you want to cry as to come back after you've done all this work the next day, pick your piece up, and all your glass fall off because it didn't quite get stuck down. So I'm just moving from right to left, making sure all my pieces are covered. I may have to pick that piece up and sneak some resin under it, but we're going to finish first. We'll come back to that piece. So we're just going to keep going and getting that resin on. So cute. I love these mermaid tails. I've made enough today that if I don't have to make another one for a hot minute, I'll be fine. But they are cute, and they are they're big sellers on the coast. So I'm going to keep going. Cover all that glass. You can kind of tell when you've hit the glass because it turns wet looking. So you know that you've got that covered because the glass changes. It goes from kind of a matte looking glass to really shiny and glossy. So that does help you to know that you've covered it all. We're almost done. Almost there. Almost. So 1.5 ounces of resin for one 4x12 mermaid tail is the exact perfect amount. Just going to get that little bit right up in there. I'm going to move that with my finger. I want to make sure, I don't want it running over the edge, so I'm kind of micromanaging right there where the top of her tail is or where her waist is, because I don't want it running over. Number one, it's a waste of resin. And number two, if it runs over the edges too much, ooh, I just dripped that on my laptop. Don't be doing that. If it runs over too much on your edges, it can create drips on your canvas, on the back side of your canvas, and then it's just not as pretty. So we teach in the membership how to be very frugal with your resin. So I'm going to make sure that's covered. And I'm using this little applicator to kind of spread over into the areas of canvas that have no glass. We want it all covered really nice. All right, let's get the tail. Let's get down here. I'm going to come right along that edge. Pull that in. Right there. All right, then let's get right in here. Get right to the edge. And I think we're done. Let me get a little bit more. I have just a little scraping of it left in here. So I'm gonna make sure we use it all. Actually, what I'm gonna do real quick is pick up this big piece that I put down and ensure, and everything's covered, I can tell just by looking at it, but I'm gonna put whatever I have left in here, just a little smidgy, I'm gonna put that under there and a little bit on the underside of that piece of glass, just to make sure that sticks good. Because sometimes if you have a really big piece of glass, it hides everything that's under it, and it doesn't allow the resin to run through. So anything that's really oversized, you kind of want to do that with. Okay, so look, we're done here. I'm gonna take these gloves off really quick. Brenda, you need to go to the Shattered Circle Facebook page and find that link. It should be in the announcements. I posted it under the announcements tab. So go back to the Shattered Circle Facebook page, and there's a link in the announcements. So I'm just going to use this wipe to just wipe off. And one of my members, her family creates these wipes, and they are fantastical. If she's here, Gina, if you're here, post your link, because I always forget. I always forget until I'm starting to use them. So I'm going to get some of this off my fingers too. So now the last thing we're going to do is hit it with some heat. Because when you stir two parts of resin together, the part A and the part B, it does create a little bit of bubbles. Because anytime you are blending or mixing numerous things together, it could be 3 or 10 or whatever, but you end up creating bubbles. You're incorporating air. So we want to get those off of our piece. So what I use is a propane torch. You don't have to use this big monster, okay? I've done countertops for a long time, and that's why I use this. It's just what I'm used to. But you can use like a heat gun or a blow dryer on high heat, low air, or even like one of those tiny little handheld creme brulee torches. So I'm gonna hit mine with the heat just really quickly. The flame never touches your art piece, and you never slow down. You just want to hit it real fast. You see how fast my hand's moving. hit it real fast with the torch, and voila, done. So check this out. Is this, I have to find myself. Is this not adorable? OMG. Look at the center where I added those pieces. Is that not super cute? Okay, I see a tiny piece of debris. So I like to use like these little skewers because it gets in big places. And I see a tiny piece of like dust or something. I'm gonna pop that out. We're done.